I would like to introduce you to my dear friend, the uber super cool Shruti Hariharan.
Wow. And to be a somebody is nice.
Yeah.
It's not too bad to be a somebody.
We're not complaining.
Yes.
At that point, when you were a dancer, did you know that you're going to come to the other side? Was it like a luck by chance into mainstream cinema?
Every time somebody asks me this, I would go back to October 2018. Bartan karna padega, jhadu pocha. Sometimes the pandemic to set it right for all of us. So
And your family, they were okay with you? Did they try to stop you at some point? And
yes,
stuff?
of
Obviously,
course.
Right?
That meant I would be a hypocrite.
Yeah.
And was I that?
It was just like everything. Anyone's mean, it's okay. Kill them with your kindness. It was like
A big lesson for me that... was it a lesson though?
I'm sure, like, guys, yeah, you don't like the person, just go to the next person. You don't have to be a complete douchebag and write something mean, right?
That has to go as a reel.
Yeah.
And I will reshare it.
I love a feisty, fearless woman. They're everywhere. My mother, the best woman I know. My group of friends who I call my best friends, and some women I work with. They don't conform to standards, are unafraid of voicing their opinions, and are unapologetic about chasing their careers. Whether they're leading by example, or breaking glass ceilings, or just not settling for less, these are the kind of women who inspire me with their voice, their vulnerability, their passion, and this audacity to live fearlessly. My guest on today's show is synonymous with everything that I've just said. She's a fellow actor, and a damn good one at that. A producer. But she's just so much more. She's a girl who dares to stand tall and has used her voice to speak about things that actually really matter. She's such a girl's girl that every time I meet her, she gives me these words of encouragement, and I feel so damn good. She's incredibly fearless, and I love that about her. In fact, she's one of the first people I contacted when I wanted to start this podcast. I can safely say she's one of the most authentic and realist people I've met in this industry. Without further ado, I would like to introduce you to my dear friend, the uber super cool Shruti Hariharan. I think that introduction does you like half justice, because you are definitely one of the coolest girls I know, like in my life period.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay.
Shubs, this was... Okay. No, I don't know what to say.
so
Oh my God. Okay, no,
sweet.
but this was really nice. And I'm so proud of you.
Oh, thank you.
This
Thank you
was-
so much.
Yeah, but thank you for all the nice things that you said. I mean, and I know that they came from your heart.
Yes, this is exactly.
So-
Every time I meet you, I have to tell you what I feel about you.
That's true.
Yeah, you're
And-
just such a cool girl every time I have
See.
met you.
Exactly the same thing. I feel the same thing about every time I see you, and I'm like, oh, I want to be like her.
Oh my God,
I
same.
wanna be-
Ditto.
Yes.
Okay, before we dive into this, right, I want to know, like, I know a little bit that I know this year has been busy for you professionally, personally, but how has the year been for you, and how have you been?
The year has been, so 2024, I would say, has been the year of me figuring myself out and getting comfortable in my own skin. And that was a huge process. It started in the beginning of the year where I was like, okay, I'm going to do this for myself, to myself, and embark on this whole fitness journey. And honestly, that's what 2024 for me has been about. So figuring myself out has been 2024. And I've been okay, actually. It's interesting because I know I'm at a certain age. I know that we are all older, but in my head, I'm much younger. I know.
Same.
So I know, the years are just ticking by, but in my head, I'm stuck in 26, 28.
Yeah.
I don't feel older than that. And then you're like, okay, you know what? We need to find a balance here.
Right. Yeah.
And actually come to terms with it and be realistic,
Right.
about our goals, dreams, responsibilities. So I think, 2024 has been figuring myself out.
Nice. And you're on a roll with your social media. I love
Really?
like the cool, candid videos you put out there. I love it.
Awesome.
But I want to know what like drives you every morning to wake up and go like, hey, you know what? I'm going to do these amazing things and I'm going to be this amazing person.
I was thinking about this the other day, and I the most simple answer to that would be art. Every day I wake up and I'm like, either I'm all kicked and pumped about, hey, maybe I'd get a call for an interesting project. Or I would do this, something even as small as I'm going to draw or paint this with my daughter. Even that, in a sense, makes me feel very hopeful and excited about the day. So I think art is what gets me up and going, and I'm like, yes, we can do this. Or even dressing myself up.
Nice, yeah.
You know?
And you've been doing a damn good job at that. Like
Sure.
your
Look at
fitness
you.
looks and all that. Like I'm feeling
Shubs,
it.
do you remember? Okay, so you guys have to know this, that it was Shubhra who was one of the first people to tell me that, Shruti, you can do this and you have to do this.
Yes.
And seldom do people tell you that. You know, when you go and say a slightly plus size woman that, hey, you know what, probably you can do this, you have to do this. The have to do could be also
Offense can be taken.
exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
But the way you say it matters, and the way you said it, Shubs, I was like, yes, I can do this, and I'm going to do this.
And how you're doing a damn good job.
I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
I told you
And
this
that's
the
what
other
that
day.
matters, right? Yeah. Okay. See, when I look at you, right, I'm looking at a girl who's level-headed, who's strong, and has had a way to express exactly what she feels.
Sure.
Were you like this growing up, or was there like a shift of events that happened in your life that led you to be who you are?
I don't know about you, but a lot of women that I know and who I've met have told me about this conditioning. We are conditioned to be good girls.
Correct.
Yeah, growing up. So have you also had the exact same thing?
100%.
Exactly.
Convent upbringing, good girl means this.
Good girl.
Yeah.
Good girl
Yeah.
upbringing. So if somebody tells you something, you're going to be like, okay. Even if it is crap. Right? And there is this time when a switches on and suddenly you're like, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm done with being the good girl. And when I say that, doesn't make you a bad person. You're not trying to hurt others, but you're
Correct.
just trying to stand up for yourself.
Right.
So I wasn't like this growing up.
Okay.
I was not standing up for myself. Of course, I always had dreams and I was quite ambitious. But no, I didn't grow up standing up for myself every single time. So it did happen at one stage. There were quite a few people who influenced me to do the same.
Okay.
And encouraged me to be real.
Okay.
And say what I exactly feel and not what needs to be said.
Nice.
And I'm glad that happened.
Right.
Because that brings you closer to yourself.
100%.
Yeah.
So was there like a moment in your life that had like a profound impact on your career or yourself? Maybe professionally, personally?
Every time somebody asks me this, I would go back to November 2018, and it's not a smile-worthy thing because it was the...
Yeah, okay. Yeah. I'm going to come to that later, but just
So it was the time when I spoke up at the Me Too movement,
Right.
because that was just it. I lost fear. I was suddenly not guilty about anything. I felt powerful. I felt... And trust me, it was anything but that. Like what finally transpired was a lot of negative stuff. Like I had so many consequences to face, including mental health issues that I was going through, and I was putting my family through a lot. It was a very fearful phase also, and it really impacted my career and my personal life. So the answer to your question, I mean, that's the thing that comes at the top of my head, on the top of my head. But otherwise, on a positive note, I think it would be Lucia.
Okay.
Lucia released Shubs, and this, I'm sure you've also seen this, right? From a nobody, you're suddenly a somebody.
Yeah.
And to be a somebody is nice.
Yeah.
It's not too bad to be a somebody.
We're not complaining.
Yes, you're not complaining. I mean, you're not everything, but you're still a somebody.
Yeah.
And that happened to me during Lucia. So personally and professionally, when that film released,
Right.
I was like, hey, interesting. I like where life is going.
Nice. Talking about that, I remember we finished the show. We did a show, and then you were talking about your journey as a background dancer. And there was a certain actor over there. You said, I was a background dancer to her. And you're like, I vividly remember that feeling. And for you at that point, when you were a dancer, did you know that you're going to come to the other side? Was it like a luck by chance into mainstream cinema?
I think it was a luck by chance.
Really?
I would not say I knew that I was going to get to the other side. It's funny that I call it the other side. But it was definitely aspirational.
Okay.
And why not?
Of
Because
course.
when I saw her, the actor that you are talking about, she was it all.
Yeah.
She was wearing the nicest clothes. She
Yeah.
was looking fantastic. She had this air about her when she walked into that
Right.
room, and everybody
The treatment was different.
very different, very different, and everybody's eyes were on her, and,
Yeah.
and she was soaking it all in.
Right.
I could see this energy. So it's always like that for us actors.
Yes.
You're taking, you're receiving this
Yeah.
energy, and then you're giving.
Yeah.
I could see her do that. So yes, it was aspirational for me, though I did not think I'm going to be on the other side.
Okay.
I did aspire to be on the other side.
Okay.
On the other side.
On the other side. Funny we say that,
Funny we
right?
say that.
What's like a one lesson that you've had very early on in your life that that's helped you actually personally or professionally?
Okay. I think, yeah.
Yeah. So you want me to tell my answer?
Yes.
I think for me, because I came from a home that was very protected, very mollycoddled, right? So I thought that was it. And I left home when I was 17. And in our house, the language is just love.
You grew up in Coorg.
No, in Bangalore itself.
Bangalore.
Till I was here till I was 16 and a half, 17. Then I left to New York. Suddenly I
Oh,
won Ford
yes.
Supermodel, and then suddenly I'm in New York.
Yes.
So in my house, it was just like everything. Anyone's mean, it's okay. Kill them with your kindness was like Ma's favorite motto till date. It's just that. And everyone's just nice. So when you step out, you understand that, hey, it's not like that. Not that they're wrong or bad. Maybe certain experiences have led them to be like that. But that's something very early on. I had to make that shift and go like, hey, you're going to look at life a little differently. Not everyone's going to look at life with the same lens.
Yeah.
And it's okay. Because initially I was so sensitive.
Yeah.
It used to hurt me. I used to be like, why can't they just be nice,
Yeah.
right? So I feel like that shift helped me also, but I had to make that shift very early on.
Yes, and I love the reel that you put up recently.
You did.
In regard to this,
Thank
right?
you.
Your entire
Yes.
journey. It
Yeah.
was so nice. It was so
Thank you.
beautiful. I understand what you're saying, yes. So, an early lesson that I had to, a lesson that I had to learn early in my life was when I was 18 and my dad passed away. So at that point of time, suddenly, you feel more responsible. Like that's the age when you need to let go and probably have fun, and at least that's what I would want for my daughter. Not for her to take on certain responsibilities. And when I say responsibilities, I don't mean financial responsibilities. I mean emotional responsibilities. Wherein I remember I was going back to a house where my mother was grieving. My brother was still dealing with the loss. I was dealing with the void of not having a parent around. So emotionally, you suddenly become stronger, but at the same time, vulnerable. And there's a huge a lot of things that you're dealing with, especially with the loss of a parent. So I think that was a big lesson that I had to learn, I guess that's
growing up too soon,
growing
right?
up too soon, that emotional strength, or what do they call it, the emotional quotient, your EQ,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that just gets heightened.
that just gets heightened.
In a way, it's good, but I guess at like such a young age, you want to be a little more like,
chill. And I think you also learned, like, you were thrown into it. There is nothing else you can do but pick yourself up and say, hey, I'm going to, be there for my mom and my brother.
and just be present for
And
them.
be present
Yeah.
for them. And I was a rebellious kid, by the way, Shubh. So
Okay.
I know I'm saying this, and I know I'm saying that it was a big lesson for me. That was it a lesson though?
I'm sure maybe,
In a way,
yeah, obliviously, maybe you were learning some lessons, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah.
That whole being strong for my family was something that I think I learned.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, and I would still carry it forward. Like even today, I think I'm a natural mother, and it comes very naturally to me
Yeah.
to mother my friends also sometimes.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. And that comes from that experience where I have been the mother to my brother,
Right.
the mother to my mother sometimes,
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's what like boon and bane, right? Like maybe it was tough at that time, but see, it's helping you right now in
Yes,
life.
it is
So,
helping me. Yeah. Janki is having all the benefits of it.
Yeah, I
So,
know.
yeah.
But for me, I think one of your most attractive qualities,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm going to say this so often because you have so many attractive qualities, but I think your winning quality is that you're so freaking genuine and authentic. And I feel like in this industry,
Yeah.
which is constantly like inflating your ego, there's so many like yes men around you. It kind of can get to you,
Yeah.
right? For me personally, I have like a core group of people who keep me humbled.
Mm-hmm.
What's your core like? Do you have that, or is it like certain experiences that have just made you this person that you are today?
It's home. Home has made me humble, for sure. I go back home and I'm nobody. Remember the nobody somebody
Yeah,
that we
yeah.
spoke about? So nobody, and then you go get to work and then you're like somebody, and then back home and you're a nobody,
Nobody.
again. Nobody cares.
Yeah.
My mom doesn't care. My brother doesn't care. My husband, not at all.
Forget it.
Forget it.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it's great to come
Yeah.
back and suddenly be grounded. And I
Right.
know it's the same with you.
Same.
And it's the same with every person I meet in the industry who goes back home
Yeah.
and is a nobody.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, because you're right. You can. It can get to your head.
Yeah, especially like with us, we started also very early, right? Like these things can really, really hit you.
Yes.
You have all that adulation, the money, everything. It
Everything.
can get to you.
Yes, it can.
Yeah.
It can.
I keep saying like it's that I lucked out in the family and friends department because I mean everything that I do, everything that I am, if someone's giving me a compliment, I'm like, it's because of that.
Yes.
Like they've just kept me like grounded. Reality checks like, hey, calm the head down. You know, you need
like
to
on set, I don't even need to lift a finger.
Yeah,
Water is
exactly.
just coming in front of me and
Yeah.
I'm taking it and drinking
Yeah,
it. Right?
exactly.
But at home, forget it. Like, forget bartan karna padega, jhadu pocha. Sometimes the pandemic to set it right for all of us.
All of us. That was actually a very humbling moment for everyone.
For everyone. Across like all classes of society.
I agree. Okay. So as we grow and evolve, like there's this certain sense of awareness that happens. And
Yeah.
for me, in my 30s, I hate saying that, but like in my in my 30s, yeah.
You don't look a day older than 25.
Thank you.
28.
You too.
Thank you.
I feel like, I'm procrastinating more.
Yeah.
I'm weighing my pros and cons before taking some decisions, which is a good thing. But I also miss that fearless, uninhibited nature that I had towards taking or making decisions regarding love, relationship, travel. I miss that, right?
Yeah.
So what is that one thing you miss about your 20s and like about your 30s?
Exactly the same
Same.
thing.
Okay.
The same thing.
Yeah.
I miss being carefree.
Huh.
I wouldn't say free spirited. I think I'm still free spirited.
Okay.
But carefree.
Huh.
Responsibility free. You know, now when I everything that I think about, like even a holiday,
Yeah.
my first thought is Janaki, my daughter.
Correct.
Okay, how am I going to is she part of the holiday or not? If she's not, then where is she going to be? You know?
There's so many nitty-gritties to that. Correct.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I had her when I was 30.
Yeah.
So for me, 30s has all been about motherhood.
True. Correct.
Hence, that's the primary difference. My 20s was, even we've spoken about this, marriage did not change much.
Correct.
In my life.
Yeah.
Right? I was still carefree.
Right.
I could still do my own thing.
Yeah.
Tomorrow I have to go for shoot, I would go.
Yeah.
I'm not answerable to anybody, get back somewhere else. But motherhood grounded me. Yeah. And that happened in my 30s.
Okay.
So, yay
Yeah.
to motherhood. No, it's yeah.
Yeah.
There is that.
Yeah. Same thing with me. In my 20s, I was just not scared. Like, I remember just like moving to New York and not being scared. Today,
Yeah.
if I have to go on a travel trip, I like think about so many things. My stake, should I? Does it make sense? Have I earned it?
Money, finances.
Yeah, like so many things. Like my husband sometimes says, you need to chill. You know, you
Right.
worked enough to like break your head so much. But I miss that careless, like
100%.
the careless spirit that I had.
Yes, and
Yeah.
even money, like now that we're talking about finances also, suddenly in my 30s, I feel more responsible with my money. I feel like I have to get my investments right.
Yeah.
And everybody's talking about wealth management
Right,
and like,
It's
I don't know, zero
overwhelming,
and demat. And I'm like, okay, one sec, why don't I have this? I have to get it.
Yes.
So back in the 20s, it was just my basic insurance kar le,
Right.
taki tax kam bharo.
Right. FD is there. Okay.
FD is there. One
Yeah.
FD, okay, that's fine.
Right.
And then travel, of course. But then in
Exactly.
30s, you're thinking more.
Yeah. You also have a
about
child, so you'll have to think of that. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, fair
so
enough.
now I'm like post office scheme.
Yeah.
What else has the government got for a child?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Okay. So you spoke about the Me Too movement in the beginning, but I want to pry a little bit, okay?
Right.
Only because I know that it wasn't easy for you at that time. And I remember watching that closely and thinking, I'm so proud of this girl. Have I been in a similar situation? Yes. Did I have the guts to speak about it? No. Do I have the guts to speak about it today?
No. You should
Only
not.
because I fear my standing in this industry,
100%.
like that fear of what if I don't get that role and stuff. But I truly applaud you for your strength, your courage and everything. And I feel like you just didn't do that for yourself. Honestly, girls like us have sat and been like, yes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Looking back, I don't regret it, by the way. Just saying that
Thank
for
you
the
for saying
record.
that. I love that.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't regret it one bit. And it's only made me feel more powerful. Yes, I lost work. And at that point, I did not know that I'm going to lose so much work as much as I did. I knew it's going to impact me. I knew there might be a legal turn it might take, which it did, and I'm still fighting the case in court, the defamation case. However, I could not have imagined how this could have spiraled. And it primarily spiraled also because of the way the media handled it. You know, the media had not just one field day, like a field day for a week together. And that was when I realized how important the media is in situations like this, where their narrative matters so much, especially to the public eye. So that the way the media took that whole story, and the media trials that I underwent, and the way social media treated me at that point of time was extremely hurtful and scary. Because on WhatsApp, you wouldn't believe it, Shubs, there were groups that were made with some 10, 20, 100 people, and there were images of women who were abused sent on that group. And what did I do? I took screenshots, went to the cyber police, and had another complaint. Oh my God, so many cases, so many complaints. That whole face was filled with police and legal stuff. Nothing came out of it because it's so difficult to track. I would just say that the cybercrime laws are not in place right now at this point of time. Maybe they've changed, but what I'm talking about is like 5-6 years ago. So not much help I got there. However, it was one of the most harrowing experiences of my life. So when I go back, as much as I say that I don't regret it, going back to that, yes, then my heart plummets, and it's like this rabbit hole. I would just go down and I'm like, oh my God, and like my husband still gets very, very anxious every time he thinks about that. So it impacted Ram much, much, much more than it impacted me mentally.
Okay.
And that just goes to show how much he loves me. But yes, it was a very scary period. So.
And your family, they were okay with you? Did they try to stop you at some point?
Yes, of course. Right? Yeah. So this was a thought out thing. It was not like an overnight, "Arey, kar liya." No.
Okay.
But there was a process. There was a way by which the story came out, which I don't think this is the right time to tell. Okay. I think I've shared this with you personally. But the story came out nevertheless, and I was not ready at that point of time. So when it did, I had two choices. Either accept it and say yes and put up a post on my social media, or deny it. Yeah. You wouldn't believe the number of friends who told me to deny it at that point.
I can imagine.
And all I should have probably done is just called up the person and said that, hey, But that meant I would be a hypocrite.
Yeah.
And was I that?
You're not that. Yeah.
It took so much from within me to tell myself that, hey, you know what? We're going to do this and it's going to be okay. So I think even today I am facing the consequences of that, at least professionally, right? There are many times on my social media where I get called Me Too Shruti, and I don't feel sad about it. What's the point, right? I'm okay. In fact, tomorrow if I probably have a film, we are all called names, no? Action star. Star.
Yeah.
I would love to be called Me Too Star Shruti. Just so that I'm just wearing it. I'm like, yes. Yeah. So what? Bring it on.
Yeah.
But then I have friends who are like, Shruti, calm down. Let's do things right. Because, you can. So I know when my friends say, friends and family, say things like, hey,
take a step back.
Take a step back. It's all right sometimes not to always say and talk. Sometimes silence is okay. I get what they are saying.
Yeah.
But yes.
But according to me, you kind of started a movement of conversations of consent, conduct, of how women should be treated. Especially in south of India, you're the one who kind of started it.
Not just me. Chinmay started it, in fact.
Okay.
So the second wave of the whole Me Too movement started with Tanushree Datta, and then Chinmay spoke up. And I was like, man, this is crazy. I love what Chinmay is doing, and Chinmay is still at it. I love it. So when you say that it brought about conversations, that's so true, which is the intent of this.
Right.
How many times I've heard women say that post this whole movement, not just me, not just my speaking up, the whole movement, and all the women who spoke up, their grandmothers have opened up to them and spoken
Crazy.
about sexual abuse and harassment. So, which only goes to say that not one woman has been spared of abuse or harassment.
Exactly.
Even on the road, when you're catcalled, that's a form of harassment.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
and what do we do as women? We just put our head down and keep walking forward.
And that's why it's so important for people in power to speak like this. So it gives other people that impetus to be like, hey, you know what,
Yeah,
I
a
can speak
check.
about it or something like
Yes,
that, right? Yeah.
and it's also a system that you're fighting.
Right, yeah.
The system of power that you're trying
Exactly.
to fight. Because all this while, a certain kind of behavior from men was okay. And it is not.
Not at all, yeah.
It's not.
According
And-
to me, that's the obvious, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, in our experience of work, we've seen some fabulous men, right?
Yeah,
Men
yeah.
who inspire us
Yeah,
and who make
yeah.
such great art.
Yeah.
There are the other side also.
Correct. Yeah.
And they need a check on their behavior.
yeah.
And they are also victims of the system.
Right. Yeah.
And it's a high time somebody just stood up and said, boss, not all right.
Exactly.
Maybe there was another way to do it. You know,
Yeah.
I've had so many conversations. Shubh, do you feel this? Actually, it's a good question to ask you. Do you feel that maybe a personal call and calling up your perpetrator and just saying that this is how I felt and that was not okay is better than making it a social media humbug?
According to me, what you did was for the larger good of things, because doing that would have just served a smaller purpose. What you did served like a bigger purpose, you know, because of that. Someone like me sitting there was like, hey, you know what? She's speaking about something that matters. Like tomorrow, I can actually put my foot down and not do that. So
Yeah.
for me, it's a larger
Great,
scheme
yeah.
of things, right? You did that. Yes, you paid a heavy price for that,
Sure.
sadly.
But not just me, right? So it's so many women.
So many women,
And
exactly.
it takes so much for them. I know so many women who've even spoken about gaslighting, and gaslighting is a conversation
Yeah,
that,
yeah, that's another.
oh
yeah.
God. The only reason why women like us come out is so that you continue to do that.
Yeah.
Like my daughter, I will teach her today itself,
Yeah.
don't take anything.
Yeah.
Please don't be a good girl.
Yeah, don't.
The good
yeah.
girl,
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
Just don't.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
yeah, I think it was important, as you said.
I think it was the best thing that you've done in your life. I'll say that openly. I completely applaud you for that.
If
that
these mics weren't there, you know, I would
yeah,
have
yeah,
you,
fully
right?
sitting
Okay.
on your lap. fully,
Yeah.
So this happened with you many years ago. But now in August 2024, with the HEMA committee report, many Malayalam actors and female staff came forward and spoke about similar harrowing experiences. I'm looking at it and I'm like, good, there's a change. But at the same time, I'm kind of triggered because I'm like, we're in 2025 and we're still dealing with this, right? Do you feel the same way? Like, are you irritated?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
You
And it's
are.
a high time that we make a change in the way we speak about this also. Because now you know how it's become? It's become like, Arey, yaar, these women have nothing better to do.
Correct.
And that we're making the industry look bad. You know, I
We
have
love
so
this
many-
industry.
We love this industry.
Yeah.
It's given me so much work. I love it. I
Exactly.
love whatever I've done. But anyway, there are
Yeah.
some people who believe that.
Yeah.
So giving them the benefit of doubt, I think it is important we as women change the way we express what we feel. It's a high time. The HEMA committee report has certain how do I say this? Certain solutions that need to be implemented. And it's a high time we looked into it
Yeah.
and did that. I know eventually I know WCC is going to stand up and say,
Yeah.
boss, time to
Yeah.
implement these.
Implement that.
The same thing needs to come into every other industry. Including ours,
Yeah.
the Kannada film industry, but it is the long haul.
Yeah.
It is a long fight. And I understand their fear. You know, their fear is probably about women coming out and not saying the truth. Which is a valid fear, no?
Which is, yeah.
Where women it gives us so much
Correct,
power.
correct, yeah,
Right?
yeah.
That safety net can be abused also by women.
It's happened also,
It's
right? We
happened
know
also.
the other side too. Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So many men, right? Nivin Pauly just got a clean chit, which I'm so glad about because personally I like Nivin
Yeah,
Pauly's
yeah.
work. But matters like this are very sensitive. It needs to be handled with maturity. I don't know how to handle it, honestly. I don't have solutions, but maybe the HEMA committee solutions are a step forward.
Yeah. Baby steps. We're getting
Baby
there, I
steps.
guess. Yeah.
So maybe in 15 years,
Sad, but yeah.
you and I will still be 28.
Yeah, exactly.
Still
We'll be in that
chilling.
time capsule.
Yes.
True.
So maybe in 15, 20 years, Shubs.
Nice. Okay. Okay, hypothetically, this is a hypothetical question. You're the director, you're the producer, you're setting the ground rules, right?
Okay.
What are the
Muh mein
changes?
ghee shakkar, by the way.
What are the changes you would like to bring into the movie industry, and how would you implement that?
Okay, so first of all, whichever female artists are there, junior artists, they will all be provided toilets. Irrespective of if you're an actor or a junior artist or a dancer or a makeup artist or a hairstylist, which are predominantly, and a stylist, designers. Because these are the usual female roles
Right.
that we see in the film industry. So yes, toilet facilities is the first thing. The second thing is I understand that as single projects, we can have ICs, right? So have ICs wherein anybody can talk, men or women, can talk about any situation where they are uncomfortable with a person's behavior. Just that is enough for people to keep a check on their behavior, you know? So I think those two are
Your top.
yeah, my top priorities from a working culture point of view. But from a narrative point of view, from a story point of view, I think I'm going to have fun.
Yeah, nice.
Oh God,
Yeah.
I can't wait to, like,
It's gonna happen.
it's going to happen.
Yeah, I
it
see
should
it.
happen. I
Yeah.
see it too.
Yeah, and then that's going to be an amazing movie, an amazing set too. I want to be a part of it somehow.
You will be a
lurking
part
there.
of it.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
that.
Yes.
But I can see a lot of women coming out and saying their stories.
Right.
And that's imperative. It has to happen.
Need
it will
of the
happen.
hour. Yes, yes.
And it'll change a lot.
Right.
Just women starting to tell their stories.
Yeah.
And we can make kick-ass films. I'm not saying just
yeah.
female boo-hoo crying
No.
films. No, in fact, we will just like
Yeah.
flip the script.
Yay! Got that on camera, guys.
Yes, it's a high time we
Yeah.
flip the script.
I know. Oh, wow. Yay. Thanks for saying that.
I love the name. I told you
Thank
this.
Yes, yes. I love Instagram. You love Instagram. We do. I mean, we like putting our lives, our work on that, right? But I mean, we can't escape it.
We
It's
can't
kind
escape
of
it.
a part of our job also
100%.
today,
I
right?
agree.
Yeah.
Yes.
But with that comes a dirty side, which is the trolling and the bullying.
Sure.
I've developed a thick skin, but at the end of the day, sometimes it does hurt me because I'm a human being here. Yeah, I have emotions. I'm doing a job, and sometimes I address those situations. And recently, I know you addressed it, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, "You go, girl."
Yeah.
How do you like protect yourself and your mental peace in this whole space? I want to know. How do you deal with this situation? I'm still grappling with it. I still don't know if I know how to deal with it.
I only give, I don't consume.
Okay.
If you see my Instagram
Right.
usage, you can check your Instagram
Right.
usage. It's not more than half an hour a day.
Wow.
Yeah. And I've
Amazing.
kept a cap on it. Every time it's beyond 30 minutes, and usually it's beyond 30 minutes when I'm posting something, because then I'm like, I have to look at insights.
Right.
It's part of the job.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I've cut down my consumption.
But are you telling me when these people troll you, it doesn't hurt you?
I don't even see it.
Okay.
I've stopped seeing it.
Okay.
And the comment that I spoke out against was a friend of mine took a screenshot and sent it to me saying, see, a girl itself is saying this.
Yeah.
And look at that girl.
Right. Okay.
I mean,
yeah.
if you all knew what we
Yeah.
were talking about,
Yeah.
you'd know. I mean, but it turned out, I think it finally turned out that some person has put up some other model's pictures and videos.
Oh.
And has commented like that from that profile on my profile.
Okay.
So this is the thing about social media. It's not real.
Yeah.
It's just not real.
Yeah.
Anything that they say, be it validation or be it trolls,
Yeah.
or be it anything negative,
Don't take it seriously.
don't
you're
take it
saying.
seriously. It's Maya. It's literally Maya. It is a Maya Loka. And the
Interesting.
more we start accepting that,
Yeah.
the better we are, I feel.
I think it's just better for your sanity, right?
It's better for your sanity, be it their validation or
Right.
their negativity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it.
So when you seek, I know so many Gen Zs
Yeah.
who seek validation from social media, and
No, that you go downhill.
that is so scary.
Right. But also, I feel like people can just start being kind, Like if you don't like someone's post or
But they
something.
are not
don't-
people.
That's also there. Yeah.
They are not real.
Yeah.
They are.
But see, I feel like we can say that, but there's so many young people out there trying to
Yes.
put out stuff. You know about that transgender guy who committed suicide
Yes.
because of that.
Yes.
How sad is that, right?
Very
so
sad.
it doesn't affect me, doesn't affect maybe sometimes, but I'm feeling bad for like the young ones who are trying to put things out
For
there,
sure.
looking at validation. I'm like, guys, yeah, you all don't like the person. Just scroll to the next person. You don't have to be a complete douchebag and write something mean, right?
That has to go as a reel.
Yeah.
And I will reshare it. Yes to
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And it's so important that the younger ones are taught this about social media.
Yeah.
Because the fact that these people have an invisibility cloak itself
Exactly. Yeah.
is so much power.
So much. That's the only way, right? That
The
they'll,
only
yeah,
way.
yeah.
And whatever they are doing, they're doing for kicks.
Yeah.
So by giving them that
You're giving that, they've
more
succeeded.
kicking,
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
like, chalo, let's do it to another person and then
True,
another person.
true,
I think, man, there's so much hatred in the world, Shubs.
There's already so much hatred. That's why I'm
Already
like,
so much
why? You have to deal with life and everything else. And like over here also, if you deal with that.
Yeah.
I guess it is what it is. Yeah.
It is what it is. Yeah.
Okay, correct me if I'm wrong in this. You're this super independent, fiercely aggressive, you know what you want kind of person. And by what I see, I feel like Ram is a more like calm and collected, like the perfect calm to your storm. It's the same in my case.
Yes.
You know, like
Yes.
Vishal's exactly that person
Yes.
in my life. How do you all play off each other's like strength and weaknesses to have this harmonious, perfect partnership?
Right. I can say that now after so many years of marriage and even dating. I've dated Ram since 2011.
Wow.
So that's a long time. That's even before I got into film. So we've been through enough ups and downs. And something like now, I don't think I can ever get jealous of Ram.
Okay.
With anybody, and likewise for him. I could be
Okay.
with anybody late into the night and Ram will not be jealous or have a problem with that. And that's a great space to get
freeing.
into. It's very freeing, right? So, but that's not the only thing that we've navigated. We've
Yeah.
also navigated each other's energies, as you very rightly said. There are times when there was this phase where I was doing very well in films, and I would be a different person outside of the house. We spoke about that,
Right.
like a somebody, right? So when I became that somebody, especially amongst my friends, like all of you,
Yeah.
Ram's not used to that.
Okay.
And Ram was like, suddenly there was this phase where we went through where like, I don't know this person.
Okay.
Who is this person? Right? So we've gotten to a point where he now understands that person also. Like there is this side of me that can be
Fancy.
fancy,
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
Oh God. Ram is the simplest man you'll see.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, he seems like that. He just
He's-
seems like that.
He's just so simple. He's always in Zen mode. And as much as you say that he's the calm to my storm, he also grounds me. He's the anchor to my wings.
Oh, so nice.
I have a feeling that I'd just be flying and I'd fly away if not for Ram. You know? Now Janaki's also there.
Yeah.
But I mean, Janaki, when she grows older, they
Right.
might not need us anymore.
Right,
So they
exactly.
say.
Yeah.
I don't know how that's going to see. We'll get there when we have
Yeah.
to. But Ram will always be the anchor. And I love how I have always... I've always taken his pieces of advice very seriously.
Okay.
If he says something, then I know that he's thought through it and said it. Unlike me, who would just like, ऐसे ही मैं बोल दूंगी. ನನಗೆ ಆ ಥರ ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಮಾತಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ನಾನು ಆ್ಯಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಅವನಿಂದಾನೇ ಕಲ್ತಿದ್ದು. Right? So think and then talk comes from Ram. But if Ram would say something, I would take a step back, think. This could be something as simple as a film's choice.
Okay.
Or like this time when I did this song called Sunday Bantu Shubs.
Okay.
I remember Ram's reaction, right? Because it was not your usual run-of-the-mill item number,
Okay.
but it was somewhere there.
Huh.
I understand, right? I could call it a dance number or give it any names, but
Yeah.
it is an item number.
Correct,
Yes,
yeah.
the lyrics are not regressive. I was very cognizant of that and very sure. Like I made sure
Right.
about that, but it is an item number. And I remember Ram's reaction, and he's like, so I love what he said. He said, just think whether this is what you want to be. And I thought, and I was like, I want to be this also. That's a different thing, but I like how he would make me think about
Nice. So it's not like don't do this, which
never.
is great, right? Because I feel
Yeah.
like someone who's
Great,
like
yeah.
you would rebel
Yeah.
saying that you're saying that I'm going to do it.
Do it.
But like this narrative of like, do you want to be this? Do you want to be
Yes.
associated with this? Like
Yes.
you're like, okay, it's like food for thought. Let me think about
Let me
this.
think about it. So the way he would communicate things to me has been great.
Right.
So I see myself spending the rest of my life with him for sure.
So sweet.
Because I can see, it's very sad that I see so many people, many of my friends who are not in good marriages.
Right.
And I understand.
Yeah.
You know, you can grow apart.
Yeah.
And that's the easiest thing to do.
Correct.
But Ram and I have fought to keep our relationship alive. And right now, we are in a great space.
Yay.
Where's wood? Where's
Yeah,
wood?
wood there.
Yes.
Okay, so
Yeah.
happy for you.
Yes.
That's great. So you said that you dated him before for a very long time.
Yeah.
So what's like the ultimate red flag in a relationship for you?
I don't even know now. I'm so old with him.
But if you have to give advice, like if you want to
Yeah.
tell like a younger girl, like, hey, if you see this, run the other direction, what would that be?
any kind of toxic behavior.
Okay.
So when I say toxicity, it means
Physical, emotional
physical
abuse.
emotional abuse, constantly messaging and asking where you are. You know, very early on in the relationship, if that starts to happen, if you can cut off, please cut off.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
that is definite red flag.
Yeah,
You know,
and you don't, and you think you can change that? No, but that is just like his fundamental, right?
Yes.
His or hers, yeah.
his or hers. Yeah.
Right.
So whoever is constantly messaging you and constantly wants to know where you are, what you're doing, where you are, what you're doing, please think whether you want
to
this.
be in that system.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, don't you think so? What's your
100%.
red flag?
I think for me, unkind behavior towards other people is just something that I cannot tolerate. But that's like my red flag generally in people also.
People.
Yeah.
Nice.
Like
Yeah.
people who use their power to like sit on a chair and condescend other people. It's just like a big like ick for me. Unkindness.
Yes.
Yeah. And disrespect.
Yeah.
And if they just don't understand, like if I have a certain set of dreams and you just don't understand it,
Yeah.
you know, and you feel like maybe eventually I'll understand it, he won't,
he
you know, yeah.
He or she won't.
He or she won't, exactly.
Yes,
Yeah, so
yes.
these would be my
Yeah.
red flags.
But with Vishal, you've also dated Vishal for quite some time, no?
Yeah, I dated him for about 4 years before we got, actually 3 years, and now we're going to complete 2 years. And our journey's been so interesting, lovely. He's actually he's not a possessive, but he's a very protective person. So it can be a little overwhelming for someone who's been such a free-spirited person, right? But we've had our ups and downs, but today we're in this beautiful space of
Yeah.
just understanding, and I can't do without the guy. I definitely can't do without the guy. He's that anchor in my life. He understands when I need to fly. He tells me like, you need to calm
Yes.
down
yes.
right now, you know. And I listen to him, which is great. And
Yeah.
he can be a little laid back. I'm like, get your shit together. We need to do a little more. So I think we're good for each other.
Perfect.
Yeah, that
like
ebb and
hustle
flow
when
is
you need
good.
to and calm
Exactly,
when you need to.
exactly.
Nice.
So yeah, touch wood. I'm in a
Yeah.
good space too.
Yeah.
Yay.
Yay.
Happily married women on this podcast.
On this podcast.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Yeah. How many of us can say that?
I know,
and feel
right?
proud
Yeah.
of it.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay, postpartum. Yeah, another heavy duty like
Shubs.
topic. But I want
अभी
to
तो
go
ये
there.
advice आएगी.
Yeah, but I want that, not for myself. I feel like this question will resonate with a lot of like young mothers going through this challenge, because I know postpartum is a real thing.
Yeah.
I've seen it with my friends and I've heard about it, and you're a mother to this beautiful girl. And I'm sure you've had your own struggles during that time.
Yeah.
And I want to know for like mothers who are going through, like your body is changing so much for starters, right? What's like an advice you would give to these young mothers?
Right. If fitness has been an important part of your life before you had a baby or before you got pregnant, then I would just say start early.
Okay.
Because just giving yourself that 1 hour in the day of any form of fitness is mentally also so liberating. And I wish I prioritized it, and I did not. I did that 4 years later, but it is so important to give yourself that 1 hour. And why I'm saying fitness is because it's a way by which you can just get away and also work on yourself.
Right.
Because it is important to be healthy. We ignore our bodies. And you're right when you said that our bodies change so much hormonally. So many things are also changing. The wiring in your head is also changing. And we do not prioritize it unless it's too late. And then when it's too late, it's too difficult. It just gets harder.
Right.
Because you've gained so much, I don't want to call it weight, but your body's changed so much
Right.
that then coming back to some semblance of recognizing yourself when you look at the mirror is just difficult, right? So I would say that if you are a young mother, start early. Give yourself that 1 hour, and it's the best thing to give yourself that 1 hour by focusing on fitness of any form.
Right.
I'm not necessarily saying gymming. I would say dance is also a
Exactly,
great way.
whatever
or,
it is.
Yeah, yoga, online classes, right? And another thing that I find a lot of us mothers going through is external advice. This constant, that of course they mean well, but there are times when people don't mean well, right? And they always, more often than not, turn to mother blaming things. And they're relatives. They would tell things like something very, very simple like, hey, the child is crying, so maybe it's hungry, so go feed it. So if you are a breastfeeding mother, then you'd go breastfeed. Then still the child is crying, and then they'd go on to, oh, maybe you don't have milk. And this you don't have milk thing is, how do I know if I have milk or not, right? So it's very difficult to navigate through initial days of motherhood. I really honestly wish more mothers told each other that it's okay to do you. You do you.
Yeah.
However you want. Yes, it is nice to have information, but if you cannot do it that way, it is fine.
Fine.
And my best advice would be to give yourself that 1 hour. If you can give yourself that 1 hour, it'll make a huge difference to your mental state. You will be a better mother if you can
Okay.
give yourself that. Like, how can you pour from an empty cup, right?
Definitely.
I know it's very cliche to say this,
No,
but
but
you
true.
have to fill that cup
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
So focusing on yourself
Okay.
is also very, very important. And I think a supportive partner, it's as a mother, when you're able to even bring the father in and say that, boss, now you're going to do this, right? Rather than saying, main to mother hu, I'm going to do everything. I can do everything, because we women tend to do that
Right.
also. That
So true.
I'm capable of it.
Yeah.
I will do it.
Yeah.
Whether you're there or not, I will do it. So they have it slightly easier.
Right.
Don't. It's okay to ask for it.
Ask for that help.
Ask for that help.
Yeah. You're
Say
not going to
that-
be lesser of a mother or anything. Yeah.
No,
Exactly.
and yeah, if that is leading to issues, then maybe it's time to talk about it.
Fair.
So that is another angle. I would definitely say that get as much help as you can.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. What a fitness journey you've had. Like, I have loved seeing that journey, and I can safely say...
You've been inspiration, no?
Thank you. I love when you say that.
You have.
And I think you're one of the fittest girls I know. Like,
Really?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's just really amazing. So how has your relationship with your body evolved right now?
I was telling my husband just 2-3 days ago that finally I can look at myself in the mirror and say I love the way I look.
Such a good feeling. no?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I look different from how I used to back in the
Yes.
day.
Lovely then also, but
Sure, but very different now.
100%.
Because I feel stronger. I don't have, when I wake up in the morning, I can happily bend and pick up anything. Pick my daughter up, turn, run, jump, sit, squat, do anything without feeling pain. And I think that is fitness.
100%.
No, it's beyond aesthetics.
100%.
It's
I say aesthetics is the bonus. I
is the
always say
bonus.
that. Yeah.
Yes. I think you've only, yes, you
Yeah.
again told me this.
Yeah.
Yes. It is the bonus. So
Yeah.
it's great. Yes, sure. You do things right, then you're going to look a certain way, which is fine.
Yeah.
But the way you feel,
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
And everything that I do, my when there's this tightness about your
Yeah,
body
you're
that you
taut.
feel,
Yeah.
which you can feel. Yes,
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
So you're like that, which you feel only when you're there.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
fit. All this was very new for me. I'm very excited.
Look at you.
I love it.
Yeah, like fitness influencer, dude.
So that I don't know whether it is the influencing angle, but it makes you feel so good about yourself.
Exactly,
If
yeah.
nothing I do in my life, at least this I have done.
Done.
Even gymming makes me feel like that. When I go to gym that 1 hour,
Yeah.
I'm just like, okay, मैंने कुछ भी नहीं किया entire day. Adre, I did this.
Yeah.
I went.
Achievement. If you're not playing any of these roles of a mother, wife, actor, producer, what does Shruti like to do, like just as a guilty pleasure?
Guilty pleasure.
Yeah.
I love food.
Yeah.
Is that okay to say that I love eating?
I wish it was a little more like naughty, but yeah, food I'll
A little
take.
more
Yeah,
naughty?
no, it's okay.
Oh, okay. Naughty.
No, it's okay.
We'll switch off camera and then I'll tell you. Okay? But I love hanging out with like my friends, actually. I wouldn't call that guilty pleasure, but if I was not doing any of that, I'd be hanging out with you guys. And you know that. You know the gang that I'm talking about.
I would love that. Yeah.
Yes. And we have a good gang.
We have a good gang.
Yes.
Yeah.
I enjoy
I wish we met more often, but yeah.
True, but I think if none of these roles, I'd be in JP Nagar.
JP Nagar. Yeah, you girls are just there. All the time.
there.
Yeah, I feel so left out. Suddenly it'll be like
I come from Indranagar to JP Nagar.
Oh yeah, actually.
Yeah.
You're right, yeah.
And every time we call you, you're traveling.
That is true.
Yes.
That is true.
Right now you're traveling.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
recently married, no? So then we're
So
so
you should
excited.
focus. Don't worry. In 1 year, we'll pull you to JP
Yeah,
Nagar.
exactly. Nothing to do. I'll come with you girls.
Yeah. Oh God.
Okay.
Yes.
Is there one thing you like look back upon and you're like, hey, I wish I didn't take that for granted?
My career.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. As ambitious that I think I was, there were a lot of situations where I have taken my career for granted and taken all the adulation that I got for granted. And I realized that at a point when you don't have it. Right? Back in the day, I would listen to at least 5-6 scripts a week. And when that has decreased, like right now, for me to even listen to 1 or 2 scripts a month is like, yay. I think I took that period for granted. You know, the power of having the ability to say no. I did take that for granted. I did not appreciate that at that time.
I love that you're so honest and vulnerable. I love that. And you don't mind sharing that. That just speaks so much about you. Nice.
Yes, but I did take that for granted.
Okay. Interesting. What is a belief that you've held on for a really long time about yourself, but you had to let go because it doesn't suit who you are today?
Wow, Shubh's googly ke upar googly hogi nahi hai. And I'm like, हाँ. Okay, you go first.
For me, it is, I think it's the same thing that I still don't want to change that lens. I go from a lens of everyone's nice, right? My friends think I'm too trusting. They keep saying, you meet this person and you're like, oh my God, they're so nice. And I have 2 or 3 friends saying that, let that person be in your life for a little longer to like make that decision. I like that lens, but I've also been hurt using that lens, right? I feel like I am changing that a little bit about, okay, let's not just dive into that person or situation so immediately, like just take a few steps like back. I've had to do that just for who I am right now. It's just self-preservation. So, yeah.
Right. Nice. I have loved spending money.
Okay.
I would call myself, my mom calls me a spendthrift. I think I am a spendthrift. And my mom has always told me this. I think it's a usual middle class upbringing thing that they would say. Ki, how do I say this in English?
Say it in Kannada, it's fine.
Kannada, no. Instead, my mom used to tell me this in Malayalam.
Oh, cute. Say.
Don't make your expenses more than your income. Right?
Correct.
I wish I did not do that. Like now, I'm trying to change that about myself.
Okay.
And growing up, there were a lot of things that were denied to me because of the financial situations at home. So when I had the money, I spent.
Okay.
I've enjoyed myself.
Yeah.
I've had like so many, there have been some clothes that I have bought that I've never worn, but I've just bought because they look so pretty.
Yeah, okay. Or those kind of splurges.
Yes, those
okay.
kind of splurges. Like very, very bougie. And I would not say I could afford it. I mean, I shouldn't have been able to afford it. I should have saved more.
Okay.
So I think that's one aspect of me that I really want to change.
Okay, interesting.
Yes, I do want to be more careful about my money.
Oh, interesting. In fact, for me, it's kind of ulta. Not ulta, but I'm a banker's daughter. Okay, so that you have to put 60% of your money into FD was like, like there in my life since I was 17, 18. So sometimes my husband says, don't be a miser, yeah. You know, but in our case, it's good because he's a big spendthrift.
Great.
Yeah. So this me like saying, do we need it? As opposed to, come on, we'll just get it, is like a good like
Nice. You're the
balancing.
Ram to Vishal.
I am the Ram to Vishal.
Because
Exactly.
Ram is the other way.
Oh,
Ram,
really?
Ram is most. He would not spend. My brother will not spend. My mother will not spend. I'm the spendthrift.
Oh,
I love
really?
what money can buy.
Okay, yeah. In a way, it's good.
Bougie as that sounds.
Okay,
But,
but good. You have a person like that balancing that
100%.
thing of you. Okay.
Yes.
What is the kind of legacy you want to leave behind?
As someone who was never afraid to be herself.
Nice. Okay.
That's it.
And are you scared that you might be forgotten?
No.
No. Okay.
By now,
Yeah.
I don't think that's going to be easy.
You're like, nobody's forgetting me.
Nobody's forgetting me for now. No, but it's
Nobody
not
can
ahankara
forget
like
you.
that.
Yeah.
It's not pride also. But actually, I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care what happens to me once I'm gone. Honestly. It's, you know how we all have our purpose in life. And I think my purpose in life is to be happy and spread happiness in whatever way that I can.
Right. Okay.
Like be it through my art, be it through just the person that I am. It's what I live for.
Okay.
You know?
Nice. And you're doing that to the T. You really are.
Yeah. We both are. You too are. You know that.
Thank you.
Do you think you live in the moment, by the way?
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
Correct.
I'm also thinking about the future. What's next? Am I
Sure.
living to my fullest potential? These are
course.
questions I wake up with every day. But I know to make the most of every moment. For me, it's like I'm
Yeah.
hosting a lunch. It's like the biggest moment of my life. And I'm
Yes.
extracting the most out of my friends, my conversations and stuff. Like even this, like my friends keep saying, every moment is like a film in your life. Because even like a story I say, it has to be like this story, you know?
Yes.
So yeah, I do live in the moment. I like that about me.
Yes.
What's next for Shruti Hariharan?
2025 is about jumping into scary things. Devil Circuit was the first step to that.
Right.
I went for a business meeting yesterday, and I was like, second step. So 2025 is going to be about redefining who I am, of who Shruti is. And I'm going to work towards it.
Nice. Okay. Thank
Yeah.
you. Okay. I have like a fun segment that I have before I let you go. This is like a this or that, or it can be a rapid fire kind of question. Okay. One thing you can't tolerate.
Wow. I'm actually pretty tolerant now that I think about it. I think that I cannot. Unclean spaces.
Oh, wow. You're OCD like that?
OCD like that.
Oh, really?
For me, anything unclean or a book unkept like that, like I have to make it right. Keep it proper.
You should definitely hang out with Vishal. You all will get along like in how.
Yay.
Yeah.
Okay.
A quiet Friday night in or a Friday night out?
Friday night in.
Okay. If your next 5 years were a chapter in a book, what would the chapter be about?
Next 5 years?
Yeah.
Stories that I can say. Stories that I can tell.
Nice. One thing that uplifts your mood?
Chai.
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 Oh, nice.
Just a cup of chai and I'm very happy.
So easy to please. I
Very
love
easy to
that.
please me. Or pani puri. But pani puri is still calories. Chai is
Right.
not that much.
Right. Okay.
So chai.
A habit you're trying to let go of?
Spending money, I think. But
Okay.
I wouldn't say that's a habit, but
Okay.
being more careful with my money.
Okay. Nice. And your hope for the next year, the new year?
New year. Working. Doing more work.
Doing more work.
Doing
Nice.
more work
I hope
across-
that for you. And you will do amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. This was all things real, amazing. I knew this was going to be our podcast. I knew that I'm going to have these authentic conversations with you because it always is so real with you. I appreciate your time, you coming to my podcast and doing this for me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Shobs. You have no idea how much you inspire me with the person that you are. Every time I see you, I'm like, I really love this girl. And I'm not lying when I say that. I really do. I wish the best for you.
Thank you.
I find you the most entertaining, most real, most beautiful, most hottest girl. When you walk into a room, everybody's looking at Shubhra Ayappa.
So sweet.
And I
Team,
hope
you're
that
listening.
continues forever.
So sweet. I love you. I love you. Thank you.
We
Thank
can't
you.
hug
Thank
because
you.
of the
I
mic.
know.
Oh, your hands are so cold.
I know, it's the AC. Yeah. But
Okay.
thanks.
Thank you.
Yay. Yay.